Welcome back to the Masterclass. It's been quite a week so far. I'd love to get your a sense of how you're doing this week and what's going on for you. And I'm just really grateful that we've all been here. I feel like we're going to have collective healing, collective shifting of grief, just a lot of movement in this area that just really isn't talked about, and coming together in a way that is really profound and amazing, because it's, you're all over the world. So if you are new to me, I am Joan Ranquet. I've been an animal communicator for a little over basically 30 years. I've been a healer for a little bit longer than that. I'm an author and a TEDx speaker, and the founder of Communication with All Life University. And my program is dedicated to helping people become animal communicators, energy healers for animals. And also we have a whole nature and wildlife program that is really building out at this time. So we keep growing and expanding, and I've been teaching for 21 years, since 1998. And in fact, I love sharing this picture. This was the second time I taught animal communication. It was in my apartment, and my cat got to teach the advanced, and she just hopped right up on that stool. So anyway, we've been, even my animals from beyond have helped teach. We've been teaching for 21 years, and then I started the school 10 years ago. And at that point, my mission had always been, I'm here to empower others to deeply connect with all life, so that together we can give voice to those who can't speak for themselves, and ultimately raising the frequency and healing the planet. So I put a number on it because this is the 10-year anniversary of my school, and the number was, I want to help 1 million animals. And in order to do that, I can't do it alone. I need people's help. So in order to get out there and help 1 million animals, we're going to automatically help humans. And if we're going to do that, I need your help. And I know that you're part of my mission, and I'm part of your mission, and together we can do this. And is anyone here? Anyone?
Yeah. We've got quite a few people, and I just want to repeat what I say every day, that we will try to get through all the comments and questions. And if we can't, because of time constraint, please post your questions on or comments on the page and hashtag question, or you can email Joan at assist@joanranquet.com. All right, so we've got quite a few people. Sarah Holden says hello.
Hello.
Enjoying these videos so far, thank you. Michelle Shell says, honestly, I'm somewhat exhausted. Hi. Cats are flying. So much coming up, hopefully being healed. Cindy Ganster says hello. Kira Randall,
Oh,
hi.
wait a minute. We've got a rock'em sock'em.
Yeah. Let's show the rock'em sock'em. This is an ongoing thing.
But it's good entertainment while we're talking about grief. It's always fun to have a good laugh. And I have to say, I think it was Michelle that said she's exhausted. Who said?
Yes, Michelle Shell.
Wait, can you make sure that we're,
Yeah.
I feel the same way, and I was actually thinking about this morning. I'm going to say it to Claudia, and I can't believe I'm going to say this to a whole group of people. But since the moment my sister was diagnosed with cancer in 1986, I have made my bed every single morning. Like, I had to have control of one thing, and this week I have not made my bed. And I know it's a dumb thing, but I just think it's funny that's what's coming up for me too. It's like really just I have no, everything that that Claudia has shown me this morning around my house when she got here. I was like, life on the farm. Like, there's just something that's really being released in me too, even though, I'm facilitating a release for a lot of people. I just want everyone to know that this has been powerful and impactful for me as well. And so I didn't mean to cut off, but you got to grab the cute when it's there.
Tony and Ventrell Wilson says, feeling some shifting love being here. It really has been helpful. So excited for today. Carrie says, hi, my friends. I've definitely been processing a lot of grief this week. Always love the death and dying workshops, and this came at the perfect time once again.
And Carrie, it must be about 7 months at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe no.
No less.
Less than that. But
Yeah.
And that's something that's really worth bringing up because, you know, when somebody dies, when we lose someone, everyone is right there. And it's always about 6 months later that the real deep loneliness sets in. So I often will remind myself through my calendar or whatever just to touch in on something with someone because it's the intensity of it goes away, but another intensity sets in.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, you know, it's important to just reach out to people that are going through it, like even months later. I wait till everybody's been around and, you know, taken someone out to dinner, or, you know, in the old days, people more likely brought over a casserole or whatever that is, right? Like, I wait till after that, and a couple weeks later, I love to get a friend out for coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, just really know that the first couple weeks are packed, and then it's just really empty.
Yeah. Robin Elias says, getting so much out of this. Thank you. Paula Wheeler. Oh, she says, oh my goodness, that is so true. I think she's responding to Tony, and thank you everyone for the hearts, like, and comments on Omar. It's nice to have all of you. So that's her little Omar, the little dachshund.
Yeah.
So all is good.
Okay.
We're good.
So I wonder if anyone was able to do deep listening, and I'd love to get any feedback on that because I think. What was that?
I'm like hiding behind the camera so you don't pick on me.
Did you listen to anybody? Did you do the opposite?
No, the other day. Remember, I was on.
Oh yeah. But I'm wondering, since we did that, you know, exercise yesterday and talked a lot about the deep listening, and we had the experience of listening to Claudia, if you had a moment with listening, if you were able to listen to other people, if you were able to just like not respond with a bunch of fixings. Yes.
So I have to bring this up because someone just lost their animal 2 hours ago. Ruth Curry, today my heart is heavy, but my Isis is now free to move, to jump, to catch flies. She crossed the Rainbow Bridge 2 hours ago. Let's start crying. I held her and listened to her purr, and I know it is a joyous time for her. Just sorry that I could not have my other 2 cats and 3 dogs there to say goodbye. I've done that in the past. I need them to know that Isis left with love and peace.
That's big. And I think you just share with them that, you know, that it was beautiful. You know, I just talk to everybody as if they're people, and they seem to understand, or they think I'm crazy, but I think they understand. And I'm going to go ahead and do the ritual of giving Claudia some Kleenex in advance.
I find this interesting because something similar happened to me. Renee Barnes says, my buddy popped into my dream last night and he has not shown up since he passed.
I love that. And you know what? I had a childhood dog in a dream 2 nights ago. So that's, I love that. I mean, it's just, and I'll say this, when it comes to really connecting with our beloveds, the biggest thing that gets in the way is grief, you know, so, and guilt. And then sometimes we're just blocked, or sometimes they, you know, are doing something else and need to experience, you know, that separation kind of has to happen. But the best thing, the reason that we're waiting for today to connect with our loved ones was I wanted to get a lot of that, some of the heaviness out of the way, so that we can be as available as we can be to make that connection be ongoing.
Someone else had a connection with their animal, their past animal. Jody. Okay. Jody says, my Tessa actually came through last night and showed how something that happened to me yesterday is what happened to her.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. Robin Elias also, she did it with her dog Holly. We spent 30 great minutes, peaceful minutes. Communication flowed and continued all evening.
That's great. Were we able to keep our mouths shut with people? Did anyone try being a mindful listener?
Tony Ann Ventrella says, I did good, then started to talk, had to step back. And listen, I think it was a test. I helped a gentleman in the park. He needed help and wanted to talk.
You know what? That's awesome, though, that like you caught yourself, because it's so, we go into automatic on this one, right? And and nobody can hear. They just become overwhelmed. And sometimes, like you said, the guy in the park just wanted to talk.
Sue Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I was able to hold space, deep listening to my sister and brother-in-law as they decided to let their dog, my niece, Reagan, go. I think the listening was very important all the way around.
That's great, Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Other than being wildly funny, Sue has taken to this work like a duck in water or something. Do you think he has to pee?
I think he's just restless because of the
Okay.
cats, I think. There's something's going, or he wants to go into your
Oh,
bed.
naughty cats.
Or he wants to go to your bed. Michelle
When
Shells.
her dog gets over here, the first thing he tries to do is get in my bed. That's why I didn't even make it. He can get in it. I don't care.
Michelle Shell says, I got off easy because I had no contact with any other human yesterday. Is that cheating?
Totally. You have to do it again today.
And
really funny.
Wilma Mahoney says, yes, with husband. LOL, had to walk away.
That's awesome.
Lorraine Bollinger says, breaking old habits is difficult. Oh, and Irene Cousinhouse says, actually I did. My sister was sort of venting this AM and I just kept quiet.
You know, that is so good, because especially with family members, we know how that can go. And I'll tell you something. My sister was sick and really, didn't take advantage of my parents, but my parents felt taken advantage of at times. I mean, I think it was a two-way street. And anytime I offered suggestion, this went on, I mean, I'm not saying like this was a 6-month thing. This was like, I don't know, a 10-year deal. And there came a point where, and this is how I kind of learned this, was I was living in LA at the time, in 1998. And
This is your other sister, right?
No, yeah, after the other sister's dead. So, it's really hard for my mother. She's had one die. She's got another one that's sick. But the one that's sick is, like, still, not taking responsibility in a certain way. And so I actually would say, because there was a certain point, my mother, and just through habit, wasn't even able to see me or understand anything that was going on for me. And so I would say, okay, Mom, I'm going to really listen, but I would put a timer on it. And I know it sounds mean, but it actually was really great for her, because she could say whatever she wanted for 5 minutes. I was going to listen. And, my need to fix was, I mean, we've all gone in and invested heavily in fixing something for someone, and then they don't do it. Right? Has anyone had that experience?
All the time.
Right? Because really, we might not be so brilliant. Or there's a better thing that they're going to come up with. And sometimes when they hear themselves, they're able to do it. So I think with family members, Sue gets the award for the day for deep listening to her sister. And I did a lot of deep listening. And when my brother was going through a divorce, I kind of had to do the same thing, because you get to a point sometimes when somebody's going through something, they get into a habit where they just kind of railroad you with their problems, and they wouldn't hear anything you said anyway, and they wouldn't even notice that you have the cutest red dress on, right? So how do you being an equal part in a relationship has to be respected, and so if you go through my program, you know that I love to talk about boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one of those things that, like, when we start, who was it that stopped herself in the park, and then Wilma stopped herself with her husband? Like, that's step one. Like, you guys get A for effort, for sure. Because,
Joanne.
yeah, because it's so. Some people have a habit of blah 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 blah, and we have a habit of going, oh, you should dot 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 dot, and you know what? Nothing gets done. And then we resent that they didn't do what we thought was so brilliant. And it's not our problem. It's funny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Irene is the one that kept her mouth shut this morning with her sister. That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I love this one, Pete Martinez. I had to shift out of automatic and order another margarita to not fix my friend's new car dilemma.
Awesome. Where do you live, Pete? I'm kidding. That's funny.
Lee Peralt says, one positive with a cat, one not so much with my human. Better with my friends, lol.
That's funny. You know, it's a process. It's going to take a while. But once you think about this, hopefully you never unthink about this. And you may, backslide, and you may catch yourself. You may order more margaritas. But whatever it is, you're going to really learn that that people need to be heard, and that we do them a great service when we're doing that. And what? We don't have that much control. Yes.
Michelle Schell says, what's ironic, and this is so true for me, says, what's ironic is that I always want to fix things for others, but if someone tells me what to do, it just pisses me off.
Exactly. Right? How dare they? Who do they think they are? Asshole. Anyway, that's the thing. Don't you think they're all thinking the same thing about everything we say?
And Candace says, not my problem is my favorite new, hold on, it disappeared. My favorite new saying.
Yeah. And in a compassionate way, right? It's not like, not my problem, and walking away like, haha. It's more like, this isn't my problem, and I can sit and be with you on this, but it isn't mine. And we take on, we enmesh, we codependent, we get all up in each other's stuff, and it's like not ours.
It's icky and messy.
And then we do the same thing with our animals. Believe me, I could do a week on that.
Okay, I'm just going through. Carla Clark Taylor says, yes, I just listened to my friend last night talking about the issues with her elderly mom. So good lesson.
Oh, that's really great. Because that's a real painful struggle. And that must have been so rewarding for your friend to be able to say these things, and rewarding for you to know that you can be a good listener.
Lily Rose says, some you give an inch and they take a mile, but taking care of us is only going to help others.
Exactly. That's the whole boundary thing. That is exactly correct. Exactly. Okay. So I really wanted to, just being able to listen to me is part of where we're going now next with this meditation we're going to do. And we're going to connect with our animals from the other side. And if you're a new pet owner and you have somebody that's in your household and you've never had somebody that's died except for maybe a childhood dog or cat or horse or ferret, you can certainly, or bird, you could certainly tune into them, or you could tune into your animal in the household and create a bucket list. But we're really hoping that you connect and get some peace with the beloved from the other side. And does anyone have any questions? Everyone's ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I want you to get really comfortable. And I want you to just breathe into the bottom of your feet. All the dogs just took a big collective sigh here. It's so quiet here. Let's just take a moment and really breathe and be with ourselves for this moment. And I want you to become aware of your physical body, moving through your physical body, through your feet, your legs. Become aware of your hips and your torso area, your solar plexus, on up into your chest, your shoulders, your arms and hands and fingers, really becoming aware of everything that's you and your body. Become aware of your spine, your throat, your head. And then I want you to just take this moment to put any aches or pains into a bubble and let them float away. And I want you to get as neutral as you can get in your physical body. And I want you to move any thoughts into a bubble and let them float away. And any feelings you have, any nervousness, any sadness, for the moment, let's just put it in a bubble and let it float away. You can have it back later. But right now, we're going to experience what it is to be neutral, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And really create an awareness of your feet on the ground, a grounded sense. As we move into our heart center, and while we're grounded, I want you to really open up your heart center. Just feel with every inhale and exhale that it just expands and opens and widens. And now I want you to bring your beloved into your heart and say in your mind's eye, hello. Tell your beloved how much you love and miss them. And take a moment to really feel into this connection before you go any further. Just feel into that love and that connection. Notice all the sensations you have right now. Is your heart open? Is it full? Do you sense their smell? Do you feel their fur? Or their feathers? Or their scaly skin? Or their fins? And now I want you to take this moment to feel into, see into, find out how they are. Where do you see them? Who are they with? And how much love do you feel from them and with them? And can you share with them? And a lot of you have questions about whether you did the right thing. Now is a moment to feel into the forgiveness and love and knowing that all is perfect. And anything else that your beloved wants to share with you, go ahead and take this moment to do that. And then take the time to go ahead and let them know that you can connect anytime you want in this way, and that you have to go back to being your earthly self, so to speak, but that you forever have this connection in your heart, and that you can continue the communication in a complete continuum forever and ever. And start getting ready to come back into the room. And I don't even think there's a final goodbye, because right now we've just opened up a continuum that can always be there. We can always hear when we settle into our heart like this. And we're going to come back into the room. So really breathing into the bottom of your feet right now. Really feeling your toes and your fingers. Coming back, opening your eyes when you're ready. That was big. And let's take a deep breath. And grab Kleenex. Write down what you need to write down. And feel free to share how that was for you. I surprised myself with who I connected with. I had little Isabella, big Isabella. So I really, how was that for you, Claudia?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It was with Pilo, the one I call my firstborn. Wilma Bahoni says she's bawling her eyes out, but got lots of messages.
Yeah, and let's take a moment to, if we need to cry, because we can do some tapping if we need to, but just be in this and take a moment to write everything down so that you don't forget. And feel free to share with us if there's something that, we'd love to hear, but if you feel really private about it, I also understand that.
So Roseanne Greco says, Bella, my jug, was like she was, I'm assuming it's pug, well, maybe, was like she was when she was a puppy, running in circles, jumping up, licking my face, and biting my earlobe. Oh my God, amazing. Thank you, Joan.
Yeah.
Irene Kuzenha says,
beautiful.
Oh my gosh, I'm amazed. Thank you, Harriet, her kitty.
I love that name. I might have to steal it for the next round of cats.
I know, right? Sarah Holden said it was beautiful. Thank you for this experience. Lorraine Bollinger says, I'm glad it was okay to need Kleenex. Sharon Louise Mawson says, I definitely felt love from my cat Luke. Tears were streaming down my cheeks. And McManus, things didn't work for her.
What happened?
What happened, Anne? So while she's typing in if she wants to, I'll read the rest.
And you know what, Anne? It could be that maybe you come back and replay this at another time when, maybe we may now find out what's going on. But for any of you that this didn't work, you've got this to come back to. And it could be that you
She just lost her baby June 24th.
Okay, yeah. I was just going to say that there's still some more grief to do, but just bookmark this and move through the grief that you need to move through, and know that this is available to you.
So there's a quick question that two people so far have. Nancy Snyder says, if reincarnation is real, can you still connect if they've already been reborn into another earthly body?
My favorite question.
Oh.
Yeah, because the energy that was at one time known as, say, Isabella in time and space, that soul in that body has an imprint here on Earth and in our hearts. And so that energy, known as that energy, can't ever go away. And not only that, but I don't know about you. Here's a great question. Haven't you noticed that the animals that come into your home are completely familiar? Like, we keep getting our soul family. It might not be anybody we've had in this lifetime, but they're as familiar as if it was your own father or your own sister, right? Like, there is nobody new that walks into my house. And I think sometimes, like, I could foster somebody that isn't part of the soul family. But if I recognize the soul family, well, they have to
Foster
move in.
failure.
Exactly. But I mean, that would be an interesting thread to see if people notice that they continually... So it could be that animal's already reincarnated back into your household or is planning to, or you'll see them again. Maybe they're going to go off and do a couple lifetimes as something else, and, you know, you might marry them next lifetime. I mean, you know, anything's possible.
So Fran Fodel says she learned that her Kate is with her best friend who died 4 months after Kate passed. That was a big cry.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And Jody Defindred Shimpak said she was not alone when she crossed. There were 3 dogs with her.
Wow.
My heart was sending out light energy and he connected. He tells me he is resting and wants to come back to me soon. He hugs me in pink light.
Wow.
Wilma says, Max says he's running with other dogs, especially our Kiwi, Siberian Husky that passed a few years ago, and he feels like a pug again. He loves me and says he wants me to use the magic and power in my hands to heal other animals.
Good. You know what? I saw a husky. When you said that name, I was like, that's a husky. And then you said a husky. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I love that.
So Jenny Ross posted, my cat was killed by a car in front of the house, only 9 years old and vital. Can't quite get why or how that happened. Just feel grief and sadness coming from my cat.
You know, I mean, I think that what I have found, and I think it's worth reading maybe some Anita Moorjani or someone like that, because when we do really connect with somebody on the other side, there may be a question and a surprise, but there's never sadness and there's never grief. And so I would invite you to move out of some of your own sadness and grief and shock. And it's not to say that a being can't be shocked and kind of hover around in that realm but it's pretty quick until everybody else kind of gets the picture. But there's still a great amount of love. And so I would invite you to really move through some more of the shock for yourself and then the grief, and see if you can't, you know, come back to this and find something more.
That's awesome. Jordan Banks says, I felt like I was trying to connect with my Mastiff Gabe, who I saw at the river and in a grassy field, but felt his brother, a yellow lab, was wanting to connect with me even more. I saw Chi laying his head on my chest like we used to do on the couch the last year of his life.
Wow.
Mark Bernard says, Allie said it's easy for you and me, but there are a lot of frustrated dogs up here who are trying to connect and are having a difficult time.
Allie can be our ambassador, Mark. It was so fun seeing you in New York, Mark.
Kitty Diggins says, I didn't get a message, but my heart was full with my Celine. I started getting choked up at the end. She's been gone 11 years.
You know what? I mean, a heart, again, telepathy is pictures, words, and feelings. So, you know, if we get messages, great. But if we don't, feeling that love is the encapsulation of words and pictures and everything else anyway.
Kathy says, I know, Kathy, you told me how to pronounce your last names, and I totally forgot. Sutpin is the last name. She says, had a sense of peacefulness and happy, connected with my Westie Chunky. I love that name.
That's so good.
Also got a strong message about candy. Don't know what that was about. Candy, like candy? The treat? Cindy Gans Turner says, I don't know what the hell this wet stuff on my face is or why my nose is running, but I think I have to go to bed for the rest of the day now. I connected with my Henry, German Shepherd, and I will never be the same since him. He described where he is and who he is with and how happy he is and how much he still loves me. Dang, there goes the wet stuff again.
Cindy just completed the animal communication level 1 yesterday, and she's moving up into advanced on Tuesday.
Oh, I can't wait to see her.
Yeah, we've got some really cool people moving up to advanced.
Lily Rose says, he says to recognize the paw prints when I walk.
Oh.
He does walk through, he says, through my 13-year-old.
That's awesome.
Montana Harrington.
Oh,
hi Montana. Says, this is my first meditation with Joan, completely speechless. Tears are flowing. Thank goodness for tissues. My grandpa passed away in my arms, and 2 months after his passing, his dog Madison passed away in my arms. Oh, Montana, you're killing me. Both here and with us today. Very powerful, thank you. Plan to spend the rest of the day in nature connecting.
Good girl.
Tony and Fella says, first a cot fell on my head. After that, my heart was so big, and there he was. We chatted, and he brought Lacey, Sam, and Carly at the end. Thank you so much.
Wow.
I always say, you're always in my heart.
That's so great. I'm going to sit here and cry for the rest of the day, but I have to teach energy healing. Today's the last day of that class.
So we could tap on that.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll do a little round of tapping here in a second. And you know, it's funny because Isabella told me she doesn't leave the yard. This is my dog that ran off and would eat people's birthday cakes before there was a party, and I'd have to go to the store and replace birthday cakes for like children's birthday parties. I mean, she was so naughty when she'd leave the yard. And anyway, it's not funny.
Leslie Williams says, Bentley, my cat, told me to stop feeling guilty about not putting him through an operation. He said it was his time to go.
Yeah. You know, these are the sorts of things that like really come through loud and clear. Once it does, you know, we have to remember that in order to come into this planet, right? Even if you have been what is that surgery? Not through the birth canal, but you've had
C-section.
C-section. You've been airlifted out, right? Like some of the yogis always talk about how these people have come through so many lifetimes that they didn't have to go through the birth canal, that they've just been C-sectioned out, and that they're just airlifted out because they don't have to go through that process again. But it doesn't mean that there isn't some sort of like growth in the womb and C-sectioned out, and there's kind of pain and startleness to come into this planet from being in that safe space in the womb. So that's an experience to get into this lifetime. Getting out of this lifetime is also an experience. And we really are, even with our decisions, the midwife. And once they get to the other side, they're not thinking anything. You know what I mean? Like, they're not holding us accountable for, you did that too soon, or you shouldn't have taken my leg off, or you know what I mean? It's all part of their process of birthing into that next space. And part of their karma to move through in their next life. Yes, what? She's just reading over there, not sharing. Just nodding her head and crying. I'm kidding.
Linda Wise says, my dog Spirit, love that name, said she's really busy doing important things.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's with her puppy mill mom, so I sense that they're helping puppy mill dogs. She also said I'm nicer to birds now.
That's so funny.
Robin Alia says, my heart is full.
So this was really great. And I'm just so blown away at how available you all were to this process. And does anyone feel lighter for it? Or peace?
While they're answering and we wait for the answers, someone asked, and I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but it's gone in the messages, that she kept getting two different, like she was trying to connect with one, she'd get another, and back and forth, and she said, what's that?
I think that they both want to connect, so I would really take the time to redo this and pause it at some point, you know, so that we don't, and just like take your time with it, and almost like close your eyes and have a piece of paper and have a space for one and a space for the other, and just write it all down.
Yeah, everybody's saying so peaceful. Roseanne Greco says she feels she's in disbelief. Tony Ann, wonderful, yes. Peace and comfort from Irene Cousinhouse. Robin Lee is so much, yes, very peaceful. Peace and warm, I feel a sense of peace. Jane Hirata says, what a great way to start the day off with love from our beloveds.
Mm-hmm.
True. Peace and warmth. Cindy Genstern says, yes, drop some guilt and a ton of fluid.
That's awesome.
I have a feeling her and Sue in the same class are going to be entertaining.
Yeah. Cindy told me yesterday in class that I could cuss away, that I should feel free to express myself.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Melissa Reed, hi Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Says this has been very grounding for her and her grief.
Yeah, because, you know, we've had some of my advanced students in the big program, we've had some big losses. Jody lost her horse, and Melissa lost her dog, and I just, we all, are stunned by how many losses there are lately.
Gudrun Elias says, grateful because Pepe, oh my god, I love that name, after his death sent me 3 more animals to care for. Me too. That's what happened with mine. Karen Olson says, Sophia and I are going to spend the day together, beginning with laying in the grass and soaking up the sun. Kathy Boyer says, this week has definitely been life-changing. I'm going to do a photo scrapbook of those 13 cats and my horse. Looking forward to the October intensive. And,
I met Kathy on the day that her horse died. She came to my teaching at Edgar Casey, ARE. I taught a certification course, and then she joined the big program. But, talk about a brave soul, So, Kathy, this is big for you.
Her horse died that day, right?
Her horse died the morning she started class with me, and she still came.
That's what commitment. I would do too.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. Rosalie Cran says, saw my jazz standing beside his former owner who passed a few years ago. He was just looking up at her adoringly, but still loves me too.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, where are we on time?
We've got 12 minutes.
Okay.
11 minutes.
We can do the tapping tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I feel like people are really feeling this peace. And, yeah, we can, I really want people to enjoy this piece. And I want everyone to know that tomorrow is the last day of this masterclass. And so we're largely going to do a Q&A, and we may have, some more grief come up. But I feel like we moved the grief and we got to peace. And that was my objective with this week. And, my intention is that everybody finds that. And the more we find that peace, the more available we are for ourselves, the more available we are for each other, and the more available we are to be compassionate on this planet. And we need a little compassion these days. I've loved doing this. And any other comments about people?
Tony Ann Ventrell wants to know, what's up with the cot on the head?
I know. I was wondering about that too. It's like, hey, you're not going to listen to me otherwise.
Maybe it was like, when you have to hit, back in the days, a jukebox to
get
it working.
Boom. Yeah, that's funny. It's funny.
Oh, Roseanne Greco has a question.
Yes.
Joan, I've been living with such guilt on deciding when to put Bella down. Too soon? You and your class have helped me feel less guilt, and I know it was the right time. Thank you for the special awakening.
Oh, that's so great. That's so powerful. That's really great. Well, what's that?
Let's just open it to questions.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, how many minutes do we have?
We have 9 minutes.
Okay, so if anyone has any questions now.
There is someone, Deanne D. Jesus wants to know, I would like to get more info if Joan does communication with deceased pets.
I do.
And you're teaching us to do that.
I've got a group of students that have already done the death and dying, so they are eligible to also help.
Lily Rose says that you've taught her a tremendous amount.
Thank you.
Gita says, wonderful class.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been really rewarding for me to be able to bring this forth, and to feel all of this. I mean, here we are in separate corners of the planet, and to feel all this love and to feel all this peace together. I'll tell you, when we went into that meditation, I knew it was magical. Could you feel that, Claudia?
Oh. Well, first of all, there was not a sound here, and usually this place is super loud. Afterwards, the dog's down.
Yeah, the dog's down the way.
But
there's
even
a
the
boarding
gibbons,
kennel, and the gibbons sing, and
birds and
birds and everything.
Dogs pacing and cats running, and all of that went dead silent.
Yeah, dead silent, and I mean the cats are out, and every dog sighed at some point.
So Tony Ann says about the cot, she says she agrees because the guilt had shut her down completely.
Oh,
so the cot was like
awesome.
I think that's what you were referring to.
I hope that you don't have a head injury.
Robin Elias wants to know, does it mean something that my Holly was right there beside me as I connected with Christian? She's alive but ill.
You know what? I feel like that's so significant. I could feel Delilah, who was very close to Isabella, and Abby let out a big sigh because I was like, who's going to come to me? And all of a sudden Isabella was right here. And I feel like we're bringing that connection for them too, and that it's okay to have that connection. And of course, there would be the fear that like your dog is going to come get Holly, but I think it's bigger than that. I think that it's just that you opened a vein, so to speak, for that love and connection and communication to run through freely.
And for those of you wanting to do this, Tony Ann and Jody, that you want to help people move forward and continue with this, the level
Who
1
was the
class.
person that said that about their hands? That their animal told them that they were supposed to heal. Anyway, I mean, I've got level 1, animal communication level 1 is coming up. We've got the intensive, and the intensive is going to be so fun.
The
October, yeah, because it's animal communication, animals in transition, death, dying, and beyond, and you're talking to way more animals than just your own, and then energy healing for animals, and that is really a big opportunity to, sort of like we're moving through the grief, and then we're like really expanding our field, and our expanded field helps others. Like your field of energy right now is going to go out today and really touch people in a way that you're not even going to believe how people are going to respond to you today.
Robin Alicia wants to do this, and then
please email assist@joanranquet.com and we can get on the phone.
And then Irene, you asked if Joan still does online classes. Well, the classes.
Yeah, the animal communication just ended yesterday, but we have a whole other one starting. It won't start for a while, but you could get all the online content, and there's some digital content, so you can be starting to talk to animals, and then it revs up in the fall.
Irene, if you're asking what EFT is or about EFT,
we'll do a little bit tomorrow, but emotional freedom technique tapping.
Okay, so that's it.
Yeah, so if you have questions about the school or classes and you're interested, I'm happy to get on the phone.
Irene says she did the animal chakras a few years ago.
Okay, cool.
So awesome.
I just redid that class, so there's even more stuff. Fun. But yeah, your name is really familiar. I feel like you've been floating through my sphere for a while.
Irene, email assist with these questions so
what
we
are
can.
they?
Huh?
questions about?
About classes and stuff.
Yeah.
We'd love to get a hold of you, and we can put you on the phone. Like, you can get on the phone with Joan and stuff. But yeah, so just email us at assist@joanranquet.com.
Yeah, you guys, really powerful, wonderful, wonderful, healing and peaceful day today, right? And I want everybody to really share that with all that you go out and touch today. And keep with your good listening skills.
Okay, we have to.
Yeah, I've got a class to teach. Okay, on to energy healing for animals. But thank you guys for being here. It's been really delicious and powerful. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
See everybody tomorrow.